welcoming all of you to the mid-morning Japa session. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. Let us move to our next part of the session, which is Sri Caitanya Bhagavat. Before we start, may I know who all have joined this call?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupad. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your beautiful services every time and so inspiring. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for reciting the chapter also very beautifully. Yeshumati Mataji.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Mataji. You give me the opportunity to recite. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Flavia from Douglasville, Georgia.
Hare Krishna, Flavia Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your beautiful association. Hare Krishna, very nice thing, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, this is Preeti Vilasani from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasani Devi Dasi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your beautiful association and all glories to your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandot Pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Dandot Pranams to all the amazing devotees in Bhakti Sanga. This is Sumi from Chennai, India, Mataji. Dandot Pranams to you.
Hare Krishna, Sumi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your beautiful association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every single day without missing.
That's
Hare
okay,
Krishna.
Nita.
So, before we start, I would like to read the Srila Prabhupada's quote. So, February 1st. We must all become ideal in our character, and then people will be very impressed with such purity. A devotee is faultless. He has no flaws. Letter to Bhattu Gopal, February 1st, 1973. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Sri Cinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi Mataji on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata Madhyakhanda, chapter 8, verse 1 to 18. Thank you very much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your very, very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat. I now hand over call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Srimati Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you for the beautiful recitation of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you for the warm welcome. And not at all qualified to talk. Everybody knows that. But still, I take this opportunity just to purify myself So before starting, I would like to thank Her Grace Preeti Vilasini Mataji, Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji, all the organizers of Bhakti Sanga, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Induleka Mataji, Shyamagari Mataji, everybody for giving me this opportunity. And the only reason I do it is because I learn more and I can also get purified. So please tolerate me. And it is Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes, so definitely everything is interesting. So we'll dwell into it. And today we are starting a new chapter, chapter 8. So before we start, let's start with the Mangalacharan prayers. ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तिशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं। Hare Krishna. I beg mercy from each one of you Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis here, so that I can talk what is relevant and I do not speak anything from my own mental concoction and just speak as it is from Srila Prabhupada's purports and Guru Maharaja's purports. Thank you so much. So today's chapter is called Manifestation of Opulences. And we are beginning the chapter today. We'll start. And there's a beautiful chapter. Lots of interesting pastimes are there. So we'll start. Jaya Jaya Shri Gaura Sundara Sarva Prana Jaya Nithyananda Advait Tera Prema Dhama. All glories to Shri Gaura Sundara, the life and soul of all. All glories to the abode of Nithyananda and Advaita's love. Jaya Shri Jagadananda Shri Garbha Jivana Jaya Pundarika Vidya Nidhi Pranadhana. All glories to the life of Shri Jagadananda and Shri Garbha. All glories to the life and wealth of Shri Pundarika Vidyanidhi. So here Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is glorifying the Parshadas of Mahaprabhu. So we thought we'll learn a little about these Parshadas. The first personality who is being glorified here is Jagdananda Pandita. So who is Jagdananda Pandita? He is the sixth branch of the Chaitanya tree. And he is celebrated as the life and soul of Mahaprabhu. And we must all know this. He's the incarnation of Queen Satyabhama. So the interactions between Mahaprabhu and Jagadanand Pandita are always very beautiful. And because he's Queen Satyabhama, he is always looking into the aspect that Mahaprabhu gets all the comforts. And there is a very nice interaction between Mahaprabhu and Jagdananda. And Jagdanand Pandita was always a constant companion of Mahaprabhu. He was born somewhere in Navadvip, and he always was accompanying Mahaprabhu wherever he went. And the Lord enjoyed humors of conjugal love with Jagadananda, Gadadhar Pandit, and Swarup Damodar. So these were the most confidential devotees of Mahaprabhu. And when Mahaprabhu, after his sannyasa, he traveled to Shantipur, and there are beautiful pastimes in Shantipur with Advaita Acharya, where all the devotees from Navadvip, including Shachimata, come, and lots of Sankirtan happens. And then from Shantipur, Sachimata gives instructions to Mahaprabhu that he should not go to Vrindavan, he should instead go to Jagannath Puri, so that Shachimata can at least get some information about Mahaprabhu every now and then. So as Mahaprabhu was traveling from Shantipur to Puri Jagannath, at that time, very few devotees accompanied him, like our Nithyananda Prabhu, our Mukunda Datta, and so on. And Jagdanand Pandit was one among them. He was always with Mahaprabhu. And when Mahaprabhu wanted to travel into the entire South India, at that time, Nithyananda Prabhu insisted that Mahaprabhu doesn't go alone and they will all accompany him. But then Mahaprabhu gave several reasons to dissuade them. He said, no, I want to do this alone. And one of the reasons he gave was, he said, Jagadananda wants me to enjoy sense gratification. And I try to do whatever he tells me as I'm afraid of him. Whenever I act contrary to his wishes, he gets angry and stops talking to me for 3 days at a time. So this is how Mahaprabhu feels about Jagadananda. He is scared of Jagdananda Pandita. So thought we'll dwell with one pastime, which is a beautiful pastime between the Supreme Lord and Jagdanand Pandit. It is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Leela, 12th chapter. The chapter's name itself is the Lord's dealings with Jagadananda Pandita. So once the Supreme Lord, so every year the devotees of Navadvip would come to Puri Jagannath at the time of Rath Yatra, and they would spend some time with Mahaprabhu, and then they would go back. The Jagdananda would always stay in Puri itself. So one year, Mahaprabhu instructed Jagadananda Pandita and said, this time you go to Navadvip and you go to the city of Nadia and see my mother, Shachimata. I want you to see her. So Jagadananda Pandita, he left and he arrived at Shachimata's house. And when he arrived there, he offered prayers at her lotus feet, and then he offered her the cloth and prasadam of Lord Jagannath. And then he offered obeisances to Sachimata in the name of Mahaprabhu and informed her of all the Lord's submissive prayers to her. And then Jagadananda's coming pleased Mother Shachi so much. Day and night, both Jagadanand Pandit and Mother Shachi would sit and talk about Mahaprabhu. And Jagadanand Pandit said, my dear mother, do you know the Lord comes here and eats all the food you offer to him every day. And after eating, the Lord says, today my mother has fed me up to my neck. I'm so full. I go there and eat the food my mother offers, but she cannot understand that I'm eating it directly. She thinks that this is a dream. So this way Jagadanand Pandit tells Sachimata, and Sachimata says, yeah, every day when I cook all these nice vegetables, I wish Nimai would come and eat this. That is my desire. And sometimes I think Nimai has eaten them. But afterwards, I think that I was only dreaming. What you're saying is very true, Jagadananda. And this way, Jagadanand Pandit and Shachimata were always talking about the pastimes of Mahaprabhu and how much happiness they get when they discuss about Mahaprabhu. This is what they were talking. And then Jagadanand Pandit proceeded to meet other devotees of Nadia. And wherever he went, they were very happy to have him. And initially, he went to Advaitacharya's house, and then he met Vasudeva Datta, Murari Gupta, and these devotees were so pleased to have Jagadanand Pandit in their house that they asked him to stay in their house for a good amount of time and not at all leave their house. Why? Because they always felt they would say, all glories to this Jagadananda Pandita. He is so favored by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that anyone who meets him thinks, now I have gotten the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly. So that was the intense love which Jagadananda Pandita had for Mahaprabhu, that whenever they would see him, they would think they're seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And wherever he went, they would hear confidential narrations about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from the lotus mouth of Jagadanand Pandita. And by hearing this, they would forget themselves and the great happiness of hearing about the Lord. And so this way, Jagadanand Pandita proceeded to Shivananda Sena's house. And while he was at Shivananda Sena's house, both Shivananda Sena and Jagadanand Pandita, they prepared huge amount of sandalwood oil, about 16 seers, it says. And they filled a large earthen pot with this aromatic oil. And with great care, Jagadananda Pandita brought this pot of sandalwood oil to Nilachal. And he hands this oil to Govinda, the servant of Mahaprabhu. And he says, please rub this oil on the body of my Supreme Lord. And Govinda then told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagadananda Pandita has brought some scented sandalwood oil for you, and it is his desire that your lordship apply a little of this oil on your body, so on your head, so that blood pressure due to bile and air will be considerably diminished. So sandalwood oil has lots of medicinal effects. And so with that concern and care, Jagadanand Pandit has got this sandalwood oil for Mahaprabhu. And Govinda says, he prepared a large jug of it in Bengal, and with great care he has brought it here. So please let me apply this every day on you. So this way Govinda asks, and Mahaprabhu replies, he says, a sannyasi has no use for oil, especially perfumed oils like this. Take it out immediately. And Mahaprabhu, he gives a very good use to that oil in Krishna's service. He says, deliver this oil immediately to the temple of Jagannath. where it may be burned in the lamps. In this way, Jagadananda's labor in manufacturing the oil will be perfectly successful. So, so Govinda goes and informs this to Jagadanand Pandita. Jagadanand Pandit hears this, and without saying a word, he just leaves. He's very silent and he doesn't say anything. And now 10 days pass. Govinda again comes to Mahaprabhu and he says, "It is the desire of Jagadananda Pandita that your lordship accept this oil. Can you please accept it?" Now Mahaprabhu becomes more angry. He says, "Yeah, why can't I keep a masseur to massage me also? Have I taken sannyasa for such happiness? Accepting this oil will bring ruination for me, and all of you would laugh." So here, the clarification given is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually a Shiksha Guru for everybody. And he was practicing like a strict sannyasi, and he wanted to set the rules of a strict sannyasi. So he says this. And he says, further he says, Mahaprabhu, if someone passing on the road smelled this oil on my head, he would think me a dari sannyasi, a tantric sannyasi who keeps women. So, hearing these words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Govinda couldn't say anything. He remained silent. And the next morning, Jagadananda comes to visit the Lord. And immediately our Mahaprabhu tells Jagadananda, "My dear Pandita, you have brought me some oil from Bengal, but since I'm in the renounced order, I cannot accept it." Actually, Jagadanand Pandita knows everything about Mahaprabhu, and that's why he wanted to serve him this way. But Mahaprabhu is not letting him serve. And he says, "Deliver the oil to the temple of Jagannath so that it may be burned in the lamps. Thus your labor in preparing the oil will be fruitful." Now Jagadanand Pandit, he has a very loving relationship with the Lord, but he is not able to accept this decision of the Lord. He becomes very angry. He says, "Who tells you all these false stories? I never brought any oil from Bengal." Saying this, Jagadanand Pandit took the jug of oil from the room and threw it down right before Mahaprabhu in the courtyard. He broke the jug and he just walked out. He went to his residence, he bolted the door and he laid down. Now, 3 days passed, Jagadananda's temper is not come down as predicted by Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said Jagadananda always stays angry for 3 days, so 3 days passed. And now Mahaprabhu himself comes to the residence of Jagadanand Pandit and he knocks the door. He says, "My dear Jagadanand Pandita, please get up. I want you to personally cook my lunch today. I am going now to see the Lord in the temple. I shall return at noon, and when I come, I want you to give me some prasadam." Saying this, Mahaprabhu went. And then immediately Jagannath Pandit, he got up from his bed, he bathed, and he began to cook varieties of vegetables. And at noontime, when Mahaprabhu had finished all his ritualistic duties and he arrived for lunch, then Jagadanand Pandit welcomed the Lord very nicely. He washed his lotus feet, gave the Lord a beautiful asan to sit, and then he started serving the Lord. He had cooked fine rice, mixed it with ghee, and piled it high on a banana leaf. And here, I keep adding some points from Srila Guru Maharaj's lecture. When he gave a class on this chapter. So Guru Maharaj said, serving on banana leaf is so much better than even a silver plate. So on a banana leaf, fine rice was cooked with ghee. It was served with ghee, and there were varieties of vegetables which were placed in beautiful pots all around, and these pots were made of banana tree bark. And then on the rice and vegetables were tulsi flowers, and in front of the Lord were also Jagannath prasadam like cake, sweet rice, and various other prasadam was there. And the Lord looks at this, he's very happy, and he says, "Spread another leaf beside me with a helping of rice and vegetables so that today you and I both we can have lunch together." So this was how the Lord was trying to make Jagadananda eat after 3 days of fasting and loving anger. And now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he kept his hands raised. He said, I will not accept this prasadam until and unless you also start eating with me. Then Jagadananda spoke with very loving words and he said, please first take prasadam yourself and I shall eat later. I am not going to refuse your request. So in great happiness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then accepted the lunch. And when he had tasted the vegetables, he again began to speak. He said, even when you cook in an angry mood, O Jagadananda, the food is very delicious. This shows how pleased Krishna is with you. Because Krishna personally eats your food, he makes you cook nicely. So this is how Mahaprabhu is enjoying Jagadananda's cooking. And he says, you offer such nectarian rice to Krishna. Who can estimate the limit of your fortune? And Jagadanand Pandit for this, he just replied, he who will eat has cooked this. Oh Mahaprabhu, as far as I am concerned, I simply collect the ingredients. So he assumed such a humble position and he said, you have done it. So we see this mood everywhere. Even when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya once invited after one of the years after Rath Yatra festival, when Mahaprabhu was free and all the Navadvip Vasis went away, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya will also place invitation to Mahaprabhu and say, please come and eat in our home. And when he comes, this is the pastime of Amogha. At that time, when Mahaprabhu comes, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife would have cooked a gorgeous arrangement. They would have made a gorgeous arrangement of prasadam. And they would have done it in a very short span of time. And Mahaprabhu would be very astonished, like, how can you cook so many items in such a short span of time? And there also, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya will tell the same thing. He'll say, it is not wonderful, my lord. Everything has been made possible by the energy and mercy of him who will eat the food. So we are seeing this beautiful reciprocation of love between the Supreme Personality and his dear devotees. And Jagadananda Pandita will continue to offer the Lord varieties of vegetables. And again, out of fear, the Lord will say nothing and will continue to eat happily. So the Lord was afraid that Jagadananda Pandit will again become angry. So he just kept eating whatever he offered. And Jagadanand Pandit forced the Lord to eat so much that the Lord ate 10 times more than other days. And again, when the Lord wished to get up, Jagadanand Pandit would keep serving him more vegetables. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not dare to forbid him to feed him more. He just continued eating, fearful that Jagadananda would fast if he stopped eating. So finally, the Lord, very respectfully, he submitted to Jagadananda and he said, my dear Jagadananda, you have already made me eat 10 times more than I am used to eat. Now, can you please stop serving me? And then with this, Jagadananda agreed and Mahaprabhu stood up, washed his hands and mouth. And while Jagadananda Pandita brought spices, garland and sandalwood pulp to honor Mahaprabhu. And now Mahaprabhu, after accepting everything, he said, now sit in front of me and start eating now at least. And Jagadananda Pandita says, no, Mahaprabhu, you go take rest. I have to do some things, some arrangements before honoring this prasadam. Actually, Ramai Pandit and Raghunath Bhatta, they helped me when I did this cooking. So I have to go distribute this remnants to them first, and then I will definitely eat. But Mahaprabhu says he doesn't believe so much. He tells his servant Govinda, you remain here. And when that Pandita has taken his food, then you come and inform me. This way saying, Mahaprabhu left. But then Jagadanand Pandit knew that at this time Mahaprabhu will go take rest and it is Govinda's duty to massage the Lord's lotus feet at that time. So Jagadananda says, do not stop your service, Govinda. Please go and massage the Lord's lotus feet and tell him that that Pandita has already taken his meal. And I shall keep some remnants of prasadam for you also. When the Lord goes to sleep, you come and you can take your portion of prasadam. So then Govinda goes and Jagadanand Pandita goes to distribute the prasadam to Ramai Pandita, Govinda, Raghunath Bhatta, everybody. And he also personally ate the remnants of food left by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then again the Lord, after some time, he sends Govinda to check on Jagadananda Pandita. The Lord says, go see whether Jagadananda Pandita has eaten and then quickly return and let me know. So this way, seeing that Jagannatha Pandita was indeed eating, Govinda went and informed the Lord. And only after that, the Lord became peaceful and went to sleep. So the affectionate, loving exchanges between Jagadananda Pandita and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued in this manner, exactly like the exchanges between Satyabhama and Lord Sri Krishna related in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is being told by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he says, who can estimate the limit of Jagadananda Pandita's fortune? He himself is the example of his own great fortune. And anyone who hears about the loving exchanges between Jagadananda Pandita and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or who reads Jagadananda's book Prema Vivarta, can understand what love is, and moreover, he achieves ecstatic love of Krishna. So that is the Palashruti of hearing this pastime. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the word vivarta means accepting something to be the opposite of what it appears. Here, Jagadananda Pandita appeared very angry, but this anger was a manifestation of his great love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, love was being shown in the form of anger by Jagadananda Pandita. And the second personality who was glorified here is Sri Garbha. Sri Garbha was also a devotee from Navadvip who visited Nilachal every year during the Rath Yatra festival. We'll move on to the, and then of course Pundarika Vidyanidhi. We had a whole chapter glorifying Pundarika Vidyanidhi. It was a beautiful pastime with Gadadhar Pandit. So we can pay our obeisances to Sri Pundarika Vidyanidhi also today. Text 3. Jaya Jagadhisha Gopinatera Ishvara Jaya Hauka Yatha Gaura Chandra Anuchara. All glories to the Lord of Jagadhisha and Gopinatha. May all the devotees of Lord Gaura Chandra be glorified. So again, Jagadhisha. Who is Jagadhisha? We know Jagadhisha Pandita and Hiranya Bhagavata are eternal associates. They are in the early pastimes of baby Nimai. They were there, and there is a beautiful pastime between Nimai and them. So that is when Nimai was a very young child, and he would cry a lot. And the only thing which was satisfying him was Harinam Sankirtan. So constantly there were some Matajis in Shachimata's house who were always doing Kirtan, and this was the only way baby Nimai would stop crying. But one day, even with the Kirtan, he was not stopping crying. Whatever Harinam was being said, it did not stop this child's cry. So then all the Mataji said, listen, dear Nimai, come and dance nicely while we chant Harinam. But the Lord did not listen, and he continued to cry again and again. And they were like, dear child, why are you crying? What do you want? Whatever it is, just tell us. We will bring it to you and you can stop crying. And then the Lord replied, if you want to save my life, then go quickly to the house of the two Brahmanas. Jagadhisha and Hiranya are both great devotees, and I desire something from them. And the Lord said, this baby little Nimai says, today is Ekadashi. They both are fasting, but they have prepared varieties of foodstuffs to offer to Lord Vishnu. If I could eat their offering, then I will be cured of this crying and I'll be able to walk. So this is our Nimai's demand. Hearing this, Shachimata gets very panicked. She starts lamenting. She says, oh, this is an impossible proposal, Nimai. You are requesting something that is not sanctioned in the Vedas or in ordinary dealings. How can you eat grains on an Ekadashi? Don't do that. And everyone started laughing at this child's demand. And they said, all right, we'll give you this, but please stop crying. And then actually, these two Brahmanas were great Vaishnavas, and they were very dear friends of Jagannath Mishra. They were the heart and soul of Jagannath Mishra. So Jagannath Mishra goes and tells them that my Nimai wants to accept the prasadam which you have, the grain prasadam which you have done. So hearing this, those first class Brahmanas, they became fully satisfied and they exclaimed, "This is an amazing demand. We have never heard of such an intelligent child. How did he know that today is Ekadashi? How did he know that we have prepared all kinds of foodstuffs for the Lord?" We can understand that since this child is so attractive, Gopala must have manifested in his body. So the devotees of the Lord can immediately understand him, can immediately recognize him. So that is the beautiful interaction, reciprocation between the Lord and his devotees. And then they say, Lord Narayana performs pastimes through the body of this child. Sitting in his heart, Narayana is making this child speak. Thinking like this, the two Brahmanas, they brought various kinds of offerings and happily gave them to Nimai. And they said, "Dear child, please eat these foodstuffs. Our desire to serve Krishna is fulfilled today." So that way, they were very happy. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Vrindavan Das Thakur is glorifying that Lord Jagadhisha, who is, and he's saying Mahaprabhu is the Lord of that Jagadhisha. And Gopinatha. This Gopinath is Gopinath Acharya, who is the husband of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's sister. So we all know he comes repeated. Gopinath Acharya is mentioned in many pastimes, and when Mahaprabhu comes to Puri for the first time, we know that on the way, when Mahaprabhu is traveling, Nithyananda Prabhu breaks Mahaprabhu's danda. That Ekadanda he breaks. And at that time, Mahaprabhu becomes very angry and he leaves his companions and he says, "I will walk alone to Jagannath Puri. I don't want you people with me." And he walks very fast and comes to Jagannath. He keeps such big steps and he comes very fast. And the moment he sees Jagannath, Mahaprabhu exhibits all the Ashtasattvic ecstatic symptoms and he becomes unconscious. He becomes unconscious for a very long time. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was there. And he looks at this most beautiful form of Mahaprabhu and gets him home. And at that time, Gopinath Acharya is also there, who recognizes the Supreme Lord. And he tells Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya who he is, and he's the Supreme Lord and he's not some ordinary person. So this is that Gopinath Acharya. And Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying the Supreme Lord is the Lord of that Gopinatha. And he says, "May all the devotees of Gaurachandra be glorified." Now we move on to the actual story. He namate navadvipe Shri Gaurangaraya Nityananda Sange Ranga Karaye Sadaya. In this way, Shri Gaurangaraya constantly enjoyed various pastimes with Nityananda in Navadvipa. Advaitalaya Sarva Vaishnava Mandala Mahanritya Gita Kare Krishna Kolahala. All the devotees accompanied Advaita in jubilant dancing and loud chanting of the names of Krishna. Nityananda rahilena Srivasera ghare Nirantara balya bhava anana hispure. Nityananda continued to reside in the house of Srivas Pandita. He was constantly in the mood of a child and did not manifest any other mood. So I remember last chapter also had a similar verse. So it's just a continuation and the same verse is repeated. For this, there is a commentary by Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, Sri Nithyananda Prabhu manifested the nature of a young child while residing in the house of Srivasa. Malini, the wife of Srivasa, fed him like her own son in the mood of Vatsalya. Therefore, in order to know Srivasa's attachment for Nityananda, Sri Mahaprabhu said to him, "You should not associate as much with Nityananda. whose character and family background is not known. In answer to this, Srivasa said, I know Nityananda is your own body. There is no difference between the body and self of the Lord, and that is being proved by our service in Vatsalya Rasa. There is no difference between service to you and service to Nityananda. I am your devotee, and I know that whoever is attached to your service is also worshipable Lord of my heart. It is not proper for you to test me in this way with contradictory statements. So actually this the entire story is revealed in the next few verses, and Saraswati Prabhupada has given the purport ahead of all the verses. So we'll continue and then deal with some verses later. So now Nityananda Prabhu is staying in Srivas Pandit's house and he is behaving like a small child. आपने तुलिया हाथे भाता नहीं खाया पुत्र प्राया करी अन्ना मालिनी योगाया. He would not eat rice with his own hands, so Malini Devi fed him like her own son. नित्यानंद अनुभवा जाने पतिव्रता नित्यानंद सेवा करे ये न पुत्र माता. The chaste Malini knew well the glories of Nityananda. Therefore, she served him as a mother serves her son. So this was going on. And now our Supreme Lord Mahaprabhu comes and he creates a little bit of rift. Let's see what's happening. एक दिन प्रभु श्री निवासे रसहिता वसिया कहे न कथा कृष्णेर चरिता. One day the Lord was sitting and discussing topics of Krishna with Srivasa. पंडितेर परीक्षये प्रभु विश्वंभरा एई अवधूते केने राखे निरंतरा. Now, in order to test Srivasa, Lord Vishwambhara said, why are you letting this Avadhuta stay in your home? And now the Lord is asking, creating some small confusion. He's asking Srivas Pandit, why are you letting this Nityananda is an Avadhuta? Why are you letting him stay in your house? So there's an explanation given by Prabhupada, Saraswati Prabhupada. Sri Vallabhacharya defines an Avadhuta as a person who is completely devoid of bodily urges and who appears like inert matter. According to the Siddhanta Pradipa, an Avadhuta is one who is fully detached from the pride of identifying with his belly and genitals. The Shabdasara states, a yogi who follows the principles of strict celibacy, who is aloof from the principles of Varna, and who is always engaged in contemplating the super soul is called an Avadhuta. The syllable a means akshara or inexhaustible. The syllable va means varenya or respectable. The syllable dhu means free from material bondage. And the syllable ta refers to the knower of the famous Vedic statement, Tattvamasi, you are that. Therefore, he possesses these qualities as an Avadhuta. So this is a beautiful explanation for Avadhuta. So we see there is a pastime which addresses this Avadhuta concept of Nityananda Prabhu. It is in Chaitanya Bhagavata Madhyakhanda, chapter 6. Here the pastime is Mahaprabhu has asked Nityananda Prabhu to start his preaching in Navadvipa. So Nityananda Prabhu is traveling in Navadvip and he is enjoying his pastimes as he did previously in Vrindavana. Now, and he is sincerely inducing everyone in the world to become attached to Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So, Bhajaga Ranga, Kahago Ranga, Lahogo Rangero Namare, Jejanago Ranga Bhaje, Sehoy Amara Pranare. So, worship Gauranga, chant Gauranga, speak only about Gauranga. And those who worship Gauranga are indeed my life and soul. So, this is what our Nityananda Prabhu is saying, and he is spreading Harinam everywhere and giving Krishna Prema to everyone. That greatly effulgent Nityananda wandered throughout Navadvipa in the company of his enthusiastic associates. And How was our Nithyananda Prabhu? His body was decorated with ornaments and garlands, and he chewed betel nuts with camphor, and because of that, his lips were reddish. And on seeing the pastimes of Nithyananda Rama, some people became happy and some had no faith in him. And there was one such person. He was a Brahmana who had previously studied with Mahaprabhu. And he had firm devotion in Chaitanya Chandra, but he was not aware of the potency of Nithyananda Swarupa. And on seeing the activities of Nithyananda Swarupa also, he developed some doubts. And by the arrangement of providence, this Brahmana went to Nilachal and he stayed there happily for some time. And he would every day go and meet Mahaprabhu, for he had great faith in the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And one day, this Brahmana found an opportunity to privately talk with Mahaprabhu. And he immediately asked him. He said, Mahaprabhu, I have something in my mind. I have to ask you. Can you kindly hear me? And if you consider me your servant, O Lord, then please personally give some explanation for this. Then he says, I cannot understand anything about what this Nithyananda Avadhuta is doing in Navadvipa. Everyone says he is a sannyasi, but he always chews betel nuts mixed with camphor. So, Sri Nithyananda Prabhu he taught people Yukta Vairagya. He taught how we have to accept scented oil, sandalwood paste, fine dress, and ornaments as remnants of Krishna. And because of this, foolish people, they thought he was fond of enjoyment. And because of, as a result of this, many people did not have faith in him. But intelligent people, they knew what was Yukta Vairagya and what is Phalgu Vairagya. And they considered that giving up objects related to Hari is just false renunciation. And they all took pleasure in Nithyananda's preachings. So our Brahmana was the first category. So he was not able to understand what Nithyananda Prabhu is trying to teach here. And then he says, a sannyasi is prohibited from touching items made of metal, but his body is decorated with gold, silver, pearls, everything. And for this, again, our Saraswati Prabhupada, he says, a devotee sannyasi should not use gold, silver like Nithyananda. There is no doubt that the principles of independent Vedic sannyasi become polluted by using these items. But if one internally considers himself a Paramahamsa and externally does not use items made of metal, the desire for fame will capture his heart, and as a result of cheating people, such behavior will be accepted as low class. So we should not externally just renounce these things, because then we will be doing it just for fame. This is the explanation given. Then this sannyasi says he has given up, this Brahmana says he has given up saffron loin cloth and wears fine silk cloth. He always decorates himself with sandalwood paste and flower garlands. Why did he give up the danda and take up an iron staff? Why does he always live in the home of Shudras? I do not find his behavior in accordance with scriptures, so my mind has become full of doubts. Everyone says he is a great personality, but then why doesn't he behave according to his ashrama? And now the Brahmana says, O Lord, if you consider me your servant, then please explain this mystery to me. So this pious Brahmana had made this inquiry at a proper time. So the Supreme Lord, he decided to reveal the truth to him without any reservation. So on hearing these words, our Gaurasundara, he just smiled. He said, listen, O Brahmana, when one is highly qualified, one is not affected by faults and virtues. Says, material piety and sin which arise from good and evil of this world cannot exist within my unalloyed devotees who, being free from material hankering, maintain steady spiritual consciousness in all circumstances. Nithyananda Swarupa is pure, just as lotus leaf is untouched by water. O Brahmana, know for certain that Krishna Chandra always enjoys pastimes in the body of Nithyananda. If an unqualified person imitates his behavior, he will suffer and become implicated in sin. If anyone other than Rudra drinks poison, he will certainly die. This is the verdict in Puranas. Therefore, a person without knowledge who criticizes his activities suffers birth after birth because of his faults. So, what to speak of criticizing? If a person even laughs at a qualified person who performs an immoral activity, he is vanquished. So, a qualified person performing an immoral activity, we are not supposed to laugh or comment or criticize at it. They are Mahabhagavatas, and we have no right to tease or comment on them. That is my personal instruction. All these truths can be known from Srimad Bhagavatam if one hears from the mouth of a Vaishnava Guru. So now Mahaprabhu is relating a story. He's telling a story to this, he's telling a pastime to this Brahmana to make him understand better. Say, now I'll tell you something to know, for you to know what happens to a person who laughs at the behavior of a devotee. So then Mahaprabhu says from Srimad Bhagavatam, once Krishna and Balarama went for studies and after with Sandipani Muni. And after finishing their studies, they decided to return. And it is norm to give Guru Dakshina. So both the brothers asked their Guru, what Dakshina should we give you? And the Guru consulted with his wife and he came back and he said, can you bring back our dead son? This way, Sandipani Muni asks. So immediately Krishna and Balarama went straight to the abode of Yamaraja. And on their order, the child was delivered from the reactions of karma. And they then brought the child from the abode of Yamaraja and returned him to their spiritual master. So now, when Devaki mother heard this about this wonderful incident, and she also asked Krishna and Balarama to return all her 6 dead sons. She says, listen Rama, listen Krishna, O best of the topmost mystic yogis, your bodies are primeval, eternal and pure. You two are the fathers of all universes. I know you two are the cause of all causes. So you have personally appeared as my sons to diminish the burden of earth. You too brought the sons of your spiritual master from the abode of Yamaraja as a dakshina for your guru. So I am also anxious, very anxious to see my 6 sons who were killed by Kamsa. And although your guru's son had been dead for some time, by your potency you brought him back. In the same way, can you fulfill my desire by bringing back my 6 dead sons? She asks this. So after hearing these words, Krishna and Sankarshana immediately went to the abode of Bali Maharaj. They went to Sutala. When Bali Maharaj saw these worshipable lords, he was filled with ecstatic love. He immediately surrendered his house, children, body, wealth, everything at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lords. His hair was standing on end, tears were flowing from his eyes, and he grabbed the lotus feet of the 2 Supreme Lords, put it on his chest, and he started offering prayers. He said, all glories to Ananta, who has appeared as Sankarshana. All glories to Krishna Chandra, the ornament of Gokula. All glories to Haladhara Rama, who is the friend and leader of the cowherd boys. All glories to Krishna, the wealth, life, and soul of devotees. And Bali Maharaj says, your darshan is so rare. Mystic yogis, demigods, they're all waiting to get your darshan and they're not able to get it. Yet, oh lords, you are so merciful that you have appeared to the abode of these demons. And you have... and then he glorifies saying, you have no friends or enemies. And even she who smeared her breast with poison to kill you was awarded a place in Vaikuntha. Therefore, the Vedas and the best of the mystic yogis cannot understand your heart. And then he says, please make me a servant of your servant. May I never desire anything other than this. And holding the lotus feet of Rama and Krishna to his chest, Bali Mahashaya offered these prayers, and he said, then he offered he offered sandalwood pulp. He washed their lotus feet, sprinkled that water on his head. Then he offered sandalwood pulp, flowers, incense, lamp, cloth, ornaments, everything. And then he says, "Oh Lord, personally instruct me, why have you come here?" So this way, when he asked, the lords became pleased on hearing the words of Bali, and they explained the purpose of their visit. They said, "Listen, Bali Mahashaya, this is why we have come to your abode. The sinful Kamsa killed my mother's 6 sons. Because of the son, he was ultimately killed. But our mother Devaki, she is constantly remembering about these 6 sons, and they are lamenting. And those 6 sons are here with you. We will have to take them with us for our mother's satisfaction." And then our Supreme Lord, he narrates the story of these 6 sons. He says, previously they were sons of Prajapati Marichi, who is the son of Brahma. And by providence, we all know the story that once Brahma became bewildered, and he desired to enjoy his own daughter, Vak. And then seeing that these 6 people, they had laughed. And for that mistake, they had immediately fallen down. And as a result of ridiculing the activities of an exalted personality, they were forced to take birth in the family of Hiranyakashipu. And when the demigods attacked them, they gave up their bodies. And again, these 6 persons suffered various miseries by Indra's thunderbolt, actually. And they died. And again, Yoga Maya placed them in the womb of Mother Devaki. And because of the sin incurred by laughing at Brahma, they again had to suffer in the womb of Mother Devaki. And although they were the nephews of Kamsa, they were killed by him. And in fact, after these 6 children were born from Mother Devaki, our Supreme Lord Balarama had to come to the womb of Mother Devaki and purify that womb to make it ready for the appearance of the Supreme Lord. So that is the glory of Balaram. And now our Supreme Lord says, my Mother Devaki does not know these things, but I will return these 6 sons to her. And when they drink the milk from Mother Devaki's breast, at that time they will be relieved from the curse. So the Lord said, listen, Bali Mahashaya, this is what happens if one ridicules the activities of a Vaishnava. So then our Mahaprabhu, who is narrating this story to the Brahmana, he says, Nithyananda Swarupa is supremely qualified. Yet less fortunate ones cannot understand him. Anyone who sees his extraordinary activities with respect will be delivered. He incarnated just to deliver fallen souls. His behavior is beyond all rules and regulations. So saying this, Mahaprabhu clarifies the Brahmana's doubt about the supremacy of Nithyananda Prabhu and how his Avaduta activities are not to be commented upon. So in fact, we also see when Nithyananda Prabhu comes as Lord Balarama with the Romaharshana Sutta pastime, we see how our Balaram refuses to participate in the Kurukshetra war, and he goes on pilgrimage and enters the Naimisharanya, and there all the sages at that time, they bow down. But it is this Romaharshana Sutta who is sitting on Vyasasana doesn't pay respect. And then our Lord Balaram becomes very angry at this, because education and learning should guide us to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Romaharshana Sutta, though was a disciple of Vyasadeva, was still sitting on Vyasasana, and foolishly he was thinking that he was greater than Lord Balaram. So for this reason, because the Supreme Lord had come to re-establish the religious principles, at that time also, Lord Balaram had to end his life. He took a kushastra, and Romaharshana Sutta was killed. So the main reason was Balaramji being the Adi Guru, he saw there was a deficiency in the realization of Romaharshana Sutta, and he was still sitting on Vyasasana. So that was the reason our Romaharshana Sutta was also killed. So these are kinds of activities of Nithyananda Prabhu and Lord Balaram, which we may not understand, but we are not supposed to comment on it. We have to just accept it. So text 11. Kona jati kona kula kichu na jani parama udara tumi balilama ami. I know you're very magnanimous, but we do not know which caste and which family he belongs to. Now coming back to our story here, Mahaprabhu is telling Srivas Pandit to give up his association with Nithyananda Prabhu. He's saying we do not know which caste or which family Nithyananda Prabhu belongs to. Apana rajati kula yadi raksha chao tabe jhata ei ava dhutera ghuchao. If you want to protect your own caste and family, then you should immediately get rid of this avadhuta. ईसाथ हसिया बले श्रीवास पंडिता आमारे परीक्षा प्रभु एना हे उचिता. Srivasa Pandita is one of the Panchatattvas. He knows everything. He is a Narada Muni himself. So he smiled and said, "Oh Lord, it is not proper for you to test me. Dineka ye to ma bhaje sei mora prana Nityananda tora deha mohate pramana." If anyone worships you for a day, he is my life and soul. And this Nityananda Prabhu, he is your body. And I am witness to this fact. So there is no difference between Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. They are non-different. In Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins Madhya Leela with this verse. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudodaye Pushpavantau Chitrau Sandau Tamo Nudau. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benedictions upon all. So there are some pastimes which where we see that Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu are non-different. I'll quickly go through them. So we have this Chida Dahi pastime where Nityananda Prabhu was preaching in Panihati, and Raghunath Das came there, and we know the entire story. I'm not going there. So this entire Chida Dahi pastime happened, and Nityananda Prabhu was dancing ecstatically. And Mahaprabhu has said that wherever Nityananda Prabhu is dancing, Mahaprabhu will be personally present there. So Nityananda Prabhu, with his meditation and dancing, he brought Mahaprabhu to the place. And both brothers were seeing how all the devotees were enjoying this Chida Dahi. So, and from each and every pot, our Nityananda Prabhu was taking one morsel of the chipped rice and he was pushing it into the mouth of our Mahaprabhu. And this way, the both brothers were having fun. And then the two brothers also sat together and ate this chipped rice. And very, very few devotees could see Mahaprabhu there at that time. He was wearing a beautiful garland of aromatic flowers, and some could smell the fragrance and some could see Mahaprabhu. That is all. Most of them, they thought Nityananda Prabhu is doing this alone. So, but this is the supremacy of the two lords together, behaving together. And this pastime, we heard it recently in our Chaitanya Bhagavata class also. When Nityananda Prabhu arrived for the first time at Navadvip, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, along with many devotees, they go to meet him. And then there is so much ecstasy between the two lords. And then our Mahaprabhu decides that there should be Vyasa Puja for Nityananda Prabhu. And that should be done at Srivas Pandit Prabhu's house, Srivas Pandit's house. And on the Adivas ceremony of this Vyasa Puja, there's an ecstatic kirtan and two lords are dancing so beautifully. And at that time, they're showing all ecstatic symptoms and dancing. And at that time, Lord Vishwambhara he became absorbed in the mood of Balarama. And then he did this just to reveal the glories of Nithyananda Prabhu. He sat on a throne and he repeatedly demanded for Varuni. And then the devotees were very amazed because Mahaprabhu was saying, get me wine, get me wine. And then he looked at Nithyananda Prabhu and he asked Nithyananda Prabhu to give his plow and club. Here also, most of the devotees did not see what Nithyananda Prabhu was handing over to Mahaprabhu, but that was Nithyananda Prabhu's or Balaram's personal plow and club were given to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even next day in the Vyasa Puja ceremony, when Nithyananda Prabhu garlands our Mahaprabhu, at that time Mahaprabhu reveals his Shadbhuja form. He shows Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, and with that he shows this plow and club. Again, the personal weapons of Balarama, he shows it in his Shadbhuja form to Nithyananda Prabhu. So with all these pastimes, we can understand that the two Supreme Lords are non-different, and that is what our Srivas Pandit is saying here. And then Srivas Pandit says a very beautiful verse. He says, Madira yavani yadi Nithyananda dhare jati prana dhana yadi morana shakare तथापि मोहर चित्ते नहीं बे अन्यथा सत्य सत्य तुम्हारे कहिलो ये कथा. So even if Nithyananda accepts a pot of wine, associates with an outcast woman, spoils my caste, life and wealth, still my faith will not waver. This is a fact I am telling you. So here again, this is a big purport. I'll just say what is said by Prabhupada Saraswati here, Thakur here. And he first, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says the ill effects of intoxication to us. He says drinking wine and all these things they are extremely abominable because it pollutes us. And it pollutes our intelligence. And when our intelligence is polluted, we get a propensity to commit all more sinful activities. And then what happens? The mundane sense enjoyers, because of this alcoholic influence, they will start indiscriminately associating with women without considering their caste and behavior. So this is one thing. So by drinking wine, a person's intelligence becomes diverted towards the path of sin, and as a result, one develops a taste for associating with women. But Lord Nithyananda is the dearmost object of those under the shelter of Vatsalya Rasa. So here we know Srivas Pandit and Malini Devi were completely in Vatsalya Rasa. And for them, Nithyananda Prabhu is their dearmost object. And even if Jagadguru Avadhuta Shri with Nithyananda happened to engage in such abominable activities, Srivasa Pandita is saying his attachment to Nithyananda is so strong and so deep that it will not diminish. And in fact, Srivasa Pandita is saying if Nithyananda Prabhu spoils his caste, kills him, plunders his wealth, whatever he does, it is okay. His propensity towards the service of Nithyananda will not diminish even in the least. And the explanation is for this attitude of Srivas Pandit is the nature of love is that if according to worldly calculations, some disgusting symptoms are found in the object of love, it does not make any difference to the lover. So our Srivas Pandita says, I am eternally attached to Sri Nithyananda Prabhu. If I ever find some temporary, worldly, contradictory mood in him, I will not give up the partiality of my attachment for him. So this is the gist of this purport. It's a big purport because it's already time. I will stop with, I'll conclude what I'm supposed to do today. Ete kashu nila yadi Srivasera muke hunkara kariya Prabhu uthe tare buke. When the Lord heard this from the mouth of Srivas Pandita, he got up, roared loudly and embraced him to his chest. प्रभु बले की बलीला पंडिता श्रीवासा Nithyananda prati tora ete vishwasa. Oh Pandita Srivasa, what did you say? You have so much faith in Nithyananda. With this, we conclude today's verses. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to all the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, Matajis and Prabhujis, for patiently listening. Please correct all my mistakes. I'm sure I would have made many. There were many pastimes. I'm sure I would have made many mistakes. So please forgive me for the mistakes and do the corrections, and please share your realizations. Hare Krishna.
Very cool. Shall I go ahead?
Sure, Mataji, you can go ahead.
What a class, what a class. Just a few compliments, Mataji. When you speak Chaitanya Leela, the absorption that you have while speaking rubs on to all of us. So the entire scripture becomes very, very relishable when we hear it from a person who relishes it themselves. Thank you for speaking about all the associates of Lord Chaitanya. I just realized something for myself. Yesterday, somebody asked I think Vinita Mataji asked me a question. Who is your favorite character from Chaitanya Leela? I was blank. I didn't have an answer. And I was thinking why I don't have an answer. It just shows that my absorption has been less. Though I've been hearing Chaitanya Leela since, I don't know from when, for over 10, 12 years, but I was not able to make up my mind, whom do I like? And then I start the whole of yesterday and today I've been thinking, and today when I saw this class, I was thinking, yes, so many wonderful devotees, they have such beautiful, beautiful pastimes. Unless I relish what they have done and understand their mood, understand how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deals with them, how will I be able to get an answer to this question? And yes, I was able to, think for myself, sit down and try to find the answer. But Mataji, towards the end, what you said about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, whatever Nithyananda Prabhu may do, still my love for him is unconditional. Externally, whatever has happened, I have accepted him and I will never give up on him. Right? The Lord is so merciful. The Lord is so merciful. We have so much to learn from the Lord. We have so much to realize that even people around us, they're all practicing devotees. And we should have that love for all the people around us. I mean, I don't know, it was very moving. It was very heart-touching to see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this. Now, of course, he's telling it to Lord Nithyananda. That is a different story. But then the principle applies. I was thinking of that. What is so abominable in this world? Actually, nothing. Yeah. But it was so inspiring, very heart-touching class, Mataji. You were just reading out of the stories, but just reading itself was so impactful. I think that's how every class should be. Just read, repeat. That's all. We don't have to concoct something new. But that has so much effect when it is done very sincerely. So thank you so much. You inspired me so much today. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. I have no realizations. That's why I do this job of just reading, because my limited brain doesn't give any realizations, and even I don't have an answer for the question which Vinita Mataji asked. I don't know who my
no, you might have.
Did you get to
I
find
thought
one?
it was a tough question, right? She asked him from Srimad Bhagavatam, it was kind of easy. I was like, yeah, it was premeditated already since many years I was able to say, but yeah.
Who is your favorite personality, Mataji, from Srimad Bhagavatam, if I may ask?
Nothing. It was Ambarish Maharaj, I said, I spontaneously said, because I just like the way he performs devotional service. In spite of the situation and this humility and tolerance, even when Durvasa was offended, and how he praised to Sudarshan. I don't know, it was very moving. From the very first time I heard Bhagavatam, that character always stood out in my mind. Maybe it's also because of Guru Maharaj's lecture. He stresses the story that it stayed in my mind. But yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for the beautiful.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, you make me read. That is why I read something today because of the class, Mataji. Thank you so much for making me do this. Though I'm not qualified, you very well know that. And still you push me. Thank you for that.
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Go ahead, Anuradha Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful class. And I was thinking this time we went to last summer we went to Jagannath Puri. And right actually where Bhakti Vinod Thakur Kutir, which has become ISKCON Puri now. Right, like just a lane across, this place is there, Mataji, the temple. Many devotees, the Pandit was saying that not many know about this place. So you will see the deity of in a murti form of Jagadananda Pandit holding this pot, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keeping it, and they have their original deities of Jagadananda Pandit, Radha and Krishna. And the Pandit was so sweet that even if they put them to sleep, they just for us, they turn on the light, show the Radha and Krishna, and also that door where Jagadananda Pandit will get upset, and that room is still there. So we went and touched and saw the room, and it is there, and it's written that that this is the Jagadananda Pandit's Kop Bhavan sort of, like where when he will get angry. And so it was so nice, Mataji. And if any of you are interested, I can share the pictures also in the speaker group. So all the pictures are there. You can go and see it, Mataji. And when you go to Puri, you can go, because often the yatra does not include that. So it's very sweet place. And yeah, I remember what they are called pandas, right? So the panda was saying, who else can dare to break a pot of oil in front of the Lord? Only his wife can do it. Only Satyabhama can do it. And it was so sweet. I had a question, Mataji, when you were mentioning about that Mahaprabhu wanted the rice on Ekadashi or whatever, grain prasadam, and his mother was saying, Sachi Mata was saying, how can you take, this is not good that you take, it is not authorized by us. But then when Mahaprabhu became himself sannyasi, one thing that he requested his mother was that maintain Ekadashi. So I found little contradiction between the story and this. Do you know what I'm saying, Mataji?
I understand, Mataji, even I remember that.
Yes. Yeah, so if they knew about the importance of Ekadashi, how like Mahaprabhu had to tell her that, follow Ekadashi. So if you have an answer for it now or later.
Mataji, but I don't know. I personally don't know the answer.
If you find, Mataji, or anybody knows,
anybody here can answer if they know. I don't know, Mataji.
But thank you so much, Mataji. It is a very, very wonderful story, and storytelling and the tattva, everything, Mataji. Even if you said it's just reading, but it is very, very wonderful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. And Anuradha Mataji, I didn't know you were there. Please forgive me for my Bengali. It is highly...
Oh, no, Mataji, I have no authority of Bengali. I love to hear everybody's Bengali, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada has made every one of you speak Bengali. That's the glory of Prabhupada, Mataji. Thank you so much. Please don't say like that, Mataji.
People have to figure out if it is Tamil or Bengali, so please forgive me.
But it was very sweet, Mataji. That's all it's all about. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. And if anybody wants to answer Mataji's question, I don't know the answer. Mataji, if I find out, I will share it, Mataji, with you or Vinita Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for nectarian class. So sweet class. Nice to hear from you. And this time you had described many pastimes, Mataji. Very beautiful. Thank you so much. We could see all the pastimes in front of our eyes. Very grateful to you. You're so sweet, Mataji.
Mataji, yesterday you did an amazing class. After that class, I was like, oh my God, what am I even supposed to speak? and said
It is
something.
all Preeti Mataji's mercy. As you all know, I am not qualified. I can't even read properly what I can give the class. It is only Preeti Mataji, Ketida Mataji who's pushing me, making me to learn. I really like the one point you said that you read a lot because of the class. Yes, I do read a lot for that class. Otherwise, I don't read so deeply. I just read or hear. Okay, I heard here, but I don't write a point or think about it. When we want to give a class, we write a point, we think about it, we memorize it,
Yes,
so that we can speak. So it makes a lot of difference, Mataji.
definitely.
Yeah, so it is very grateful to Preeti Mataji. Even yesterday, when I was starting my class, I said, it is only because I can learn something. I can be confident what I learned. Otherwise, I will forget what I learned. Thank you, Mataji, for such a nectarian class. Really very sweet always to hear from you. Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. And as you said, very true, Mataji. Even because of Mataji gives those topics, we meditate and I'm so scared. What will I say? Keep meditating and I keep praying to them. Can you please make me say some pastimes or some things which will come? So yes, Mataji, she
As
sets our
soon as
mood.
I get an like verses from Mataji, even I'm sleeping in the sleep, I'll see that pastime into my dream. Oh my God. Even I was waking, I was doing anything, only that pastime, whatever the verses are given to me, that only will be going. Even though I don't put paper and pen before one day only, I work on paper and pen. But for 1 week, it's going into your brain. Okay, this is what we have to speak. This is what we have to tell. It just comes.
Yes.
So true, Mataji. So much meditation happens for speaking for one class. I don't know how Kitida Mataji, Preeti Mataji, and many other speakers how manages to give so many classes in one day.
One
I
day
don't.
they give multiple
Yeah.
classes. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your support. We'll end Mataji, Yashomati Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji. Sorry, Mataji. Do you want to go
Go
ahead?
ahead. Go ahead,
Thank
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Oh, this was such a nectarian session. I especially loved the way that you narrated the Jagadananda Pandit pastime. Especially, how he just dropped the pot of sandalwood oil. I mean, wow, so much of effort just went down the drain. But it's just so sweet to see their relationship, between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagadananda Pandit. So Mataji, I'd had a question on, was Jagadananda Pandit the one who was sent to stay with Sachi Mata, or was that someone else? Stay.
Jagadananda was asked. Stay means he goes and visits her. And there's that picture also, it's very famous, no, where Sachimata is offering
Right. Offering, and then we
Mahaprabhu is accepting it. So that pastime also, like where Jagadananda Pandit confirms to Sachimata that yes, Mahaprabhu comes and personally accepts whatever you're offering. Every day he comes, though you don't see him.
Yeah.
And sometimes Sachimata also sees, but she thinks it's a dream.
Right. So he stayed with them for
For
a
some
long.
time.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Yes. And the way Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he, kind of can trick you into believing something, but actually he's testing you, with Srivas Pandit. So very, very beautiful. And I loved how you also included that comparison with how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had given the feast, what happens that time, and how he also says that it is the one who is consuming the bhoga, he is the one who is glorified for preparing it. So that's a wonderful mood that we need also. I also need to learn.
Right? Yeah, that was more the lesson. Like they prepare such an enormous feast and they're so humble. That's why Mahaprabhu
And
is
there
even
is,
respecting.
they don't even want to get acknowledged for it. So yeah, that's
It's
something totally don't have, especially with cooking. So,
yeah. In fact, if my family doesn't say it's good, I get offended. That much of pride I have.
Them ask them a
Host
few
says
times
good.
now other dishes. So yeah, but very nectarian class. Really loved it. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, just a reflection. Even if you get offended, there is no harm because it is already tasted by Krishna, right?
That's nice, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully he's tasted it. Yeah.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Thank you.
Do we have time? I can speak something if you allow me.
I have. Why
Okay.
don't you
I
go,
hope we are
Keshav?
not yet exceeding the time. Anyway, your class was so nice and you were so humble. And I see 3 Tulsi Matajis behind you on your windowsill. These are Tulsi Matajis?
Yes, Prabhu,
Yes.
it's winter times.
Wherever Tulsi Matajis are flourishing, it's a sign of your devotion in that house. Actually, where there is Mataji flourishing, that house is known as Vrindavan. And that's what I heard from Radha Govind Swami's lectures, So, your house is blessed with flourishing Tulsi Matajis like that. So that's what one thing I observed there.
Thank you so much. Actually, I'm technologically very bad. I didn't know how to blur that background. My son keeps teasing me. All those things, they confuse me and they scare me also. So that's why I left it like this. But thank you
No,
so
that's
much
good.
for your blessing, Prabhu.
Very well, Mataji. Another thing I want to say is that, to develop love for Lord Sri Krishna, the females are most blessed compared to males like us. They cannot develop love for Lord Krishna as much as a woman can. And as Mataji was saying, that sometimes you have to give lectures and you in dream you see the slokas and that. Just like Mirabai. Mirabai, was in so great love for Lord Sri Krishna. She has written a very nice bhajan. I think you must have. Everybody must have. She says, "Palka pal sovat kamini re." You heard of that? Very nicely. पलका पल सोवत कामिनी रे ज्ञान ध्यान सब पी संग लाग्यो ज्ञान शाम सब everything is like. And then she says मैं जो चली she says that when she's about to fall asleep, she will Michat hi pal mein piya aayo. As soon as she fell asleep, Lord Krishna entered into her dream. and then she says, मैं जो उठी पिया आदर देने जाग पड़ी पिया हाथ न आयो. And so when Lord Krishna came in dream, she just got up to welcome him. But because it was a dream, she jag padi,
So beautiful.
And then Lord Krishna disappeared. And then she says, "Aur sakhi piya sokar khoyo, main apna piya jag gavayo." Such a nice. So Mirabai is such a great, exalted lover of Lord Sri Krishna. And, this is possible for a woman. Okay, also men, they develop such kind of love. But that is more conducive for a woman to develop love for Lord Sri Krishna. This is what I wanted to little add in our. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak, Mataji. Very well.
Thank you for this. I've never seen it this way. Sometimes I feel bad being in the woman's body. Thank you for that. Thank you for that very nice comment. Makes me see things differently. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Very well.
Yashamati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, so wonderful, so sweet pastime. I really loved these all pastimes about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you describe everything, even though you're reading, but still it looks like you visualize us, the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagdanand Pandit, and all pastimes, So it's really, I loved it. I was immersed inside the pastime. It was really nice, Mataji. You describe and you read very nicely all the pastime. And you just talk about the Nithyananda Prabhu also, how he was doing all the things. But we never should comment about everything by seeing the external things of other devotees also. That's what the main thing I took it. So you don't know who is that great personality inside in their heart, and so we should never comment about anything of anyone. So it's very nice to listen by Nithyananda Prabhu's pastime also. And it was very, very nice pastime about the Jagdanand Pandit, how Satyabhama, only she can do her husband like that, right? And she can say 3 days Abola with her husband, right? So it is very, very nice pastime. And I also like the pastime of 6 sons of the Devaki Mataji. So I was thinking since long about that. Who was that? I forgot about that. And today I just knew again and I just remember all things. So thank you very much, Mataji, for giving that pastime also. So really, really grateful to you and your services. And all the time, your class are so sweet. I loved that class, all your classes too. So I am so fortunate, I can say that I can come in this Bhakti Sanga group and all devotees, advanced devotees. I just hear, I love that. But Mataji, pray for me. I don't know about anything, but whatever Mataji, just Vinita Gandharvika Mataji says that when she has to take class, she just contemplating since long what I should do, what I should do. So even though in dream it happens, Mataji, so it's a real true. And whatever Prahladanand Prabhu talk about Mirabai's bhajan, oh my God, how was Mirabai? Her bhajans are very, very nice. So thank you very much, Mataji, for very enlightening, very sweet, very nectarian class today. And we are very, very grateful to you. We look forward to your association again in future. And if nobody have any question or if your permission, we end the call. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Mataji, 1 second. I just want to thank Mataji's in the chat box, Mataji. 1 second. I just want to say thank you to all the Matajis and one Prabhuji also. Prabhuji's also. Thank you so much. I need your blessings so that I can I'll try to please Srila Gurudev in any small way. That is all my request. Please bless me, all of you. So thank you, Mataji. Will end now. Sorry.
That's okay, Mataji. Cinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi Mataji ki jay. And Mataji, you already blessed too by your Guru. Then you can speak this much good very nicely, and you give us so love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna and all of them, all his devotees and everything. Thank you, Mataji, so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.